Hello, and welcome to the Light Institute and the Sanctuary of Light Sunday meditation here in Galisteo, New Mexico. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, we have a special way that we do this particular meditation. We divide it into 3 parts. In the first part, which is so important for all of us at this time, is to access our higher selves. Our higher self is the intuitive essence of the soul. It's your own inner voice. So we ask it to take a form so that in our consciousness we can feel that vibration, we can bring it into our bodies, and we can radiate that energy of a higher octave out into the world. And so we'll ask our higher self to take form, have it touch our bodies, bring it into our bodies, and then I'll make a little om sound so that you can push your button on your machine so that you can sit in meditation for as long as you like. And then in the second part of the meditation, we practice the art of radiance. We all need more light. This planet needs more light, and we are the ones to bring it. So we reach up into the cosmos and we draw that white light down through the top of our head into our solar plexus. This is the center of the emotional body. And so as we're bringing white light in, we're quickening ourselves, we're lifting ourselves into a higher octave of consciousness, and we laser that out. And so as we do this meditation, it's just breathing in, pulling the white light down, lasering it out, and then back into the sky, and creating this incredible fluid circle of energy out across the planet, if you like, which is really wonderful. Back into the sky and down through you. Another om. And then in the third part of our meditation, someone will suggest, or we pick a specific theme, so that in that part of the meditation, we send an energy, a consciousness out into the world. Because that's part of our purpose at this time, is to realize that we've come to bring our gifts, to bring our wisdom, to bring our love, and extend it out. Now, in the U.S.A, today, or this weekend, is Thanksgiving. I call it giving of thanks. And so we will send a little meditation out into the world to whomever it is that you want to give thanks for them in your life and for what they support in you, what they teach you. And I always think myself that if we can send that energy, that giving of thanks, to someone or a group that we don't love, that we don't know, that we're afraid of, this helps us to quicken our frequencies and to free ourselves from old karmic attachments, so that as we do that, we go on, and those beings that we have not cared for some reason, we sending them light, they go on. And that's what makes that beautiful evolutionary pattern of the soul. Let's close our eyes and begin with our breath, because when we exhale, it slows the brain down to a meditative alpha state and allows us to free our consciousness to expand, so that when we focus our energy, it has power. Breathe in through your nose slowly. And exhale even more slowly through your mouth. Once again, breathe in through your nose. And exhale through your mouth. And now, ask your higher self, the intuitive essence of your soul, your own inner voice, to take a form for you. It could be a light or a being, a tree, an animal, even an equation. See what form comes to you at this moment. Take the first form that comes. And now, ask your higher self to touch the place in your body where you hold your divine essence at this moment. And just imagine that touch anywhere in your body. And wherever you imagine it, begin to breathe in through that touch so that you can access the energy of your own higher self. And now, as you breathe in, imagine that you're drawing your higher self into your body, so that as you sit in meditation, you are truly your own higher self, a being of light, a being of wisdom, a cosmic and human being. Imagine that you could reach up into the cosmos and pull down a beam of beautiful white light down through the top of your head, and draw that beam down into your stomach, your solar plexus, and from there laser that beam of light out from you, across the planet, back up into the sky, into the cosmos. Breathe in, draw it down, laser it out, and you just can continue and continue drawing the light in and extending it out. As you extend light from you, that beam of light, you are actually activating a purpose, a presence, your presence into this world. So this is a very powerful thing to do. Draw the white light in and laser it out from you, out, and up, and into the cosmos. And just continue doing that with your breath and with your consciousness. Take a deep breath into your body and feel that quality of giving thanks, and ask your body where it holds that at this moment. The power to give thanks to all situations, to all beings, to all everything that you are in contact with or conscious of. Because everything that comes into view for us comes to facilitate the clearing of karmic situations, of cosmic contracts and vows, freeing us to that ever spiraling evolution of the soul. So just see who wants to come in. Again, it might be people who are close to you that you want to give thanks for, people who have helped you or healed you, strangers that are out there that are in your soul family, as is everyone on the planet at this time. And especially any groups or people that you don't love, because they are the ones that teach you patience, that teach you compassion, that teach you to love beyond judgment. So put them all into your mind's eye. And now ask them what frequency of light they need from you to experience the vibration of your giving to them, the thanks, the gratitude, the conscious awareness of some purpose of that connection. Just take the first color that comes into your consciousness. Reach up into the cosmos and draw exactly that color down through the top of your head and extend it out through your consciousness to all of them. And feel that power, that quality that you hold in your body. Feel that flowing now and extending that giving, the giving of thanks, the gratitude. And see how that makes you feel light, perhaps peaceful or safe or happy. Give thanks. Oh. And I give my thanks to each and all of you for being present on the planet this time, for being yourselves, your true selves, your higher selves, and for giving of thanks. There's a second part of our meditation. It's called knowings. And each week people send questions from around the world for us to converse about so that we can uplift ourselves and expand our consciousness in terms of these particular themes. And so we'll see what comes today. Allison?
The first question is from Newport, Rhode Island in the USA. Dear Chris, I've just discovered I'm over-acidic and that this is the reason I'm so tired all the time. Will you please talk about over-acidity in the body, how this can affect our health, and the best way to alkalize?
Fantastic. What you're experiencing is something that people are experiencing around the world because our environment, certainly outside us and very often inside us, therefore, is fairly toxic. And that toxicity tends to cause us to become acidic, acidosis. And that cuts our oxygen supply, it causes us anxiety, it certainly makes us tired and foggy and unhappy, and it's precursors for negative imbalances in our bodies. But the beautiful thing about it is, as you're saying, you've discovered it, and there is a way out, and it's a simple way out, and it works. The body is so magnificent and it's so responsive that as soon as you say, aha, I see that I'm overacidic, and that, for example, perhaps your kidneys and all your organs of elimination aren't able to get that acidity out of your body. And so it builds up in your muscles, it builds up in your joints, makes you sore, makes you tired, makes you uncomfortable. You don't have to keep it. It doesn't need some massive amount of medical interference. It just needs your consciousness. And the way that you actually do it is by what you put into your body. Because there are foods and elements that are very alkaline. And so all you have to do is imbibe them, is to eat them, and to enjoy them, and say, this is for you, body, and they will turn around that acidity. And they will help your kidneys, and they will help your muscles, and they will help all their organs to not be acidic. The perfect balance of the pH in the human body is 7.35 to 7.45. And once we get to 7, and we get to these higher levels of pH, our bodies become alkaline. And with that alkalinity, by the way, it's one of my favorite things to contemplate and to pass on, is that viruses, bacteria, fungi, cancer, they cannot live in alkaline environments. So the best way for us to protect ourselves from anything in the outside world is to create an environment that is strong, that has an immune system, that utilizes the gift of our own alkalinity. Guess what is the most alkalizing food on the planet? Blue-green algae. Algae, all algae. Of course, if the water becomes very acidic, they can become toxic and poison in lakes and oceans. That's what's happening in our oceans right now. Algae needs sometimes fairly high, even up to 8.6, which is pretty alkaline water to live in. But when we imbibe algae, whether you like seaweed to eat, or you like spirulina, blue-green algae, sun chlorella, they're going to very quickly help your body. And you know, I won't even go into it because all you have to do is push a button on your machine, and it's easy to find which are the alkaline foods and which are the acidic causing foods. It's very interesting to see that. I'm sure that many of the foods that you actually love, but maybe have not been eating because it's easy to just grab something quick that's in a package that is probably acidic in nature because of the chemicals that are put in it. And so all you have to do is switch that. And it's not taking away from you. It's exploring things that perhaps you didn't realize that were so good for you to eat, and you just eat more. For example, I love the algae, but I really love avocados. They're one of the highest things that by taking them in brings alkalinity into your body. And so you can do it, and that acidity will travel away from you. And very quickly, you'll begin to feel the energy rising up in your body, and also a more positive mental attitude. Because when we're acidic, we get befuddled in our brains. We don't get the oxygen that we need. We get stressed. We don't have to be stressed in this world. We're here because we chose to be here. We're here because we have something to give. Our presence, our breath, and our consciousness. So, be well. Great love. Allison.
The second question is from Calcutta, India. Miss Griscom, can karma be created by doing nothing? For instance, not responding when someone needs help, or saying or doing nothing when being personally attacked, emotionally or physically.
Well, this is a kind of a long conversation, but I'll see what I can do with this in the short form. First of all, remember that the laws of karma, they're energetic laws, and so they are based on the principles of cause and effect, action and reaction. So that means there's no such thing as not doing anything. If you're resisting, if you're ignoring, if you're balancing shall I not, you have entered into that pattern of cause and effect. And karma is not just negative, but it's always an opportunity when you're talking about could you help somebody or should you help somebody. First of all, let me say that anything, anyone, or any situation that comes into your life belongs to you. There's a magnetism that has to do with karmic principles. And so you don't want to just say, oh, that's not about me. If you see it on television and you're watching at that moment, it's about you. And it's about your opportunities. It's about the powers you have, not about if you don't do it, you're going to be punished or you're going to accrue negative karma. This is not the way to live our lives, and it isn't true. And for example, you might realize that, I didn't help that person. I didn't reach out. And then, because you're aware of that, the next situation comes, and suddenly you want to reach out. That's an evolutionary pattern. But also, it's something very interesting. The first person, you may not have been able to help, but the second person may have been someone who you could have helped. And so, we always see the world from our perspective. We never see it from the karma of somebody else. And so that idea of good and bad, all of that judgment and blame, it's all old patternings. It was very useful in ancient times to get people in tribes to behave. We don't need that today. We can simply ask our higher selves, we can ask our body, is this the right thing to do? Shall I do this? And you will feel that answer, yes or no. So, again, anyone who comes into the fore for you is someone who is giving you an opportunity. And I love to talk about that, just as we did in this last part of our meditation today about giving thanks, that in terms of karma, there may be somebody, again, who is what we might call an honorable opponent of yours, somebody that's not a good person in your life. You were talking about, could you say something, or do you just stuff it and not say what's true for you? If you speak out, not only is that good for your soul, for you, it gives you strength and truth, but it's good for them. Because so often when we stuff something and we don't speak our truth, we're not teaching our opponents. We're not giving them the aha, wow, they never thought of it that way, or they never realized that you were that way. or had that to offer them. And so never just brush it off because you're afraid to speak it out, or it might have consequences that mean that they wouldn't like you, or they might attack you. You use the word attack. Sometimes to come right forward to someone who's attacking you, whether it's emotionally again, or mentally, or physically, when you go forward, you are offering an opportunity for shifting inside yourself, but very importantly, inside them. If an attacker or a person, and by the way, most attackers are people who are terrified. So instead of facing their fears, they cover it with anger, they cover it with aggression. And so you can't know who that person is. But if you show them a mirror and say, you know, if you behave that way, you lose possibility of friendship. I speak to you from my truth of my heart. And just remember that that's what's important. What you do with your life is the karma that you hold and the way that you polish your soul's evolution. And you can't imagine how your truth and your presence and your own wisdom can influence the growth of others. That's what I would say to you. Never think that you should hide. Never think that if you could possibly be still, which you can't karmically, that would be the right thing to do. I'm not saying that you always have to say something at that moment. You might want to write it in a letter. You might want to do it by telephone. You might need to activate your heart energy before you can do that. Or you might need to do it right then. But never be afraid of the result of that. Because we humans, if we blunder a little bit, if we fall a little bit, oh, I wish I hadn't said that, or I was too strong with that person, it's all right. It's all right. Because that's the way. That's why we're here. Is that every time we think or feel or do something, it changes and activates potential of our own growth. And as we participate in the world, that energy moves out and is able to help others access a way of changing or growing or evolving themselves. Have a little, what I call cosmic giggle, and be strong and truthful to yourself. Great love. Allison.
The last question is from Frankfurt, Germany.
Hello, Germany. I was just with you.
Chris, I don't believe in hell, but I'm more than a little afraid of dying and going to an unpleasant dimension like I've heard stories about from people who have had near-death experiences. Any advice you can share on how to avoid this would be so comforting. I'm thanking you.
Well, having had 6 near-death experiences, I do have a little comment about that to pass to you. First of all, most people who have near-death experiences have wonderful, wonderful enlightening experiences. It changes them. They often feel what it's like to go across the veil. They feel light, or they feel love, or they feel the presence of others. They feel teaching. And there's always this kind of opportunity. Do you want to stay? Do you want to go? Or you need to go back. 5 of my 6, I got the cosmic boot. Go back. You're not done. And next time, I'll be able to choose. I did choose on the 6th one, but next time I will pass through without any fear of any other dimension. And here is the ticket. Here is the thing that will support you. Always when you think of changing your body, passing from this world, it's important to know that you want to hold that like it would be going home. You have come here for a purpose. You're not an accident. And do your best. And sometimes we all do the opposite thereof. It's okay. Because there is no purgatory, there's no dark place, there's no dimension where there's anybody else judging you. The divine source, whatever you want to call that, There is no such thing as a being that's up there taking notes. You were bad. You didn't do it right. You can't come here. It's not true. Those are old patterns. And we, with the intelligence of our consciousness, are now ready to let that go. What is the difficulty part of that? The difficulty is you must give up choosing yourself, holding yourself responsible, holding yourself in blame and judgment because. No, we're all here to grow. We're much more patient with somebody else than we are of ourselves. And so it's very important for you to begin to say, good job, body, or higher self, touch my body where I hold my highest energy so that I can be my higher self and experience that. And then when you think about the end of your life, and all powerful people do, without fear, think about what you would want it to be, because whatever you hold in your consciousness, that's what comes. And that's one of the great lessons that my higher self always has given to me. Whatever you resist, that's what you get. And so know that there will come a time on this planet, as I have experienced 6 times, when something wants to take you home. Something wants to take you back to someplace else. And that place, I promise you, having been in all very different environments in those 6 death experiences, will be a place that is something that you've created or something that you've known maybe from other lifetimes where you've gone. And that's why I have always said it's like going home to universal love, going home to shedding all of that self-judgment, all of that separation, that individuation, all of that stuff goes away. So don't be afraid that you would go into a dark place, because it's only when people have guilt of themselves, that they're blaming themselves, that they have shame, that they actually push themselves into a place like that. And what I've seen in purgatory and dark places is that eventually the light comes. You can't stay there. You can't stay there. You will go into the light. And so always envision that when you end, that you will end gently with your body. Don't end it in pain and disease or accidents. It doesn't honor this beautiful vehicle, this divine vehicle. Right now, this is one of my higher self's great teachings. Begin to, in your consciousness, hold that death is just a passage to the next point of evolution, and that you will be gentle with your body. And you can begin that right now today with, when you eat something, this is for you, body. When you sleep at night, this is for you, body. Always helping it, always healing it, always encouraging your body, because it has consciousness and it's listening to you. So do not indulge in that fear state. It won't happen. Just hold in your mind's eye that the next octave is beautiful, and the next and the next and the next. And trust that. Your body knows. And I know. And I send you a little giggle that says, don't be afraid. But do free yourself from negativity and go into a place where your consciousness is holding all the best. When people pass, I always whisper to them, go home to those who love you, who are waiting for you, because you'll never be alone. You're not alone now. You have your body and your consciousness and your higher self. Great love.